Welcome to Puvanur RVIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. Welcome to Puvanur RVIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. Good morning to all of you in India and good evening to people who are on the different time zone. Hope you would have practiced the Kitatakadim lessons what I taught last class. I categorized as Kitatakadim family just to ensure that you practice all the phrases which is part of Kitatakadim so that you remember it well for the relationship. This class I am going to introduce Thalangadim family of phrases which you are going to see how you are going to play in the Tatindina sequence. Let's begin today's class with a good note on Thirukkural by Thiruvalluvar. Arathu aaru idana venda sivigai puruthaanodu oorundan idai. Let's look at the meaning of this Thirukkural. Pallakkai sumappavanidethum அதில் ஏறி செல்பவனிடத்தும் அறத்தினது பயன் இத்தன்மை அது என்று சொல்ல வேண்டியதில்லை, அது நேரில் அறியப்படும். You don't have to tell people who is driving the chariot and people who are sitting and he is going in the chariot. You don't have to tell about the good deeds of the wisdom or the dharma because it's obvious. So that's what Thiruvalluvar says. So with this good thought, let's get into the lesson. So Thalang, you all know how to play Thalang. That is Thalang. That is Thalang. So now I am going to introduce three members here. The first member is Thalangadim. Thalang, Thalang. How you play? Thalangadim. Dim is the combined consonant, dom and dim together. Thalang, 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 Thalang. So that is the first member in Thalangadim family. The second member is the lesson what you learned in Thalangadim family. Takka Thalang, Takadimi Thalang, Takka Thalang, Takadimi Thalang. People who have forgotten those lessons, I'm going to revise and do it slowly. Dumki, Thalanki, Dumchapu Dumki, Takadimi. Thalanki. You have to play together. That is the lesson. That is the second member in Thalangadim family. The third member in the Thalangadim family is again you learned in the basic Balapadam. Thalangudum, Thalangudum, Thalang. These are the three lessons. So the reason why we learned Balapadam is first to assimilate what or how to play those basic phrases. Now we are going to interlude that phrases in the sequence. Now we are going to see how we are going to interlude within our normal day-to-day life. However, whatever the English words you use, typically when we want to express, we need to use those words into sentences. That's what we are trying to do now. It's something like in the musical language, in the musical sequence, we are trying to interlude those phrases into a sequence. Let's see how it goes. I did is exactly the same structure what we did in Kidatakatim family. First two paragraphs is a four-liner. Just because it's Talangadim family, the second line instead of Kidatakadim, I substituted with Talangadim so that you can play this Talangadim chapter. Ta din din na Talangadim din na ta din din na Talangadim talanga ta din din na. Likewise, you play the first paragraph, then reduce the paragraph into two-liner with an interlude of the first line and the last line, third line and the last line to give the contrast, and then you play the Tirmanam completed Talangadhin, Talangadam, Talangadhin, Talangadam, Talangadhin, Talangadam. So, likewise, let's try to play the next phrase in Talangadim family, Takkat Talanga Takademi Talanga. Like that you have to play Takkatala. First time it will be a little difficult because you learned only the phrase. Now we are interluding within the sequence and you should get in a flow. You have to repeat number of times to get to this lucid form. Let's also try to look at the third member in Talangadim family, and I am also going to introduce few other way how you need to practice more as a homework. So let's first complete the third phrase in Talangadim family. As I told you, this I played for each phrase the entire lesson. It's not necessary to do like this as you get familiar. Once when you are familiarized with all these phrases, you can do only for one phrase towards the end. For the family, you can, for the first two paragraphs you can play. Only for the last element in that family, you can do the reduction and the Tirmanam. You don't have to do for each lesson. This is for your familiarity. Okay. Now, having said this, now you have played in a very low speed. You should try now in the next speed. That is one. And also I am going to introduce you how the whole thing can be played in Tishram. That is a little tricky, but you need to know that that's where you have to practice. Let's try to say, express, I will express in a higher space, which is in the second speed. And you try to practice and try to get it into your practical approach by playing in Mridangam. Ta din din na, talang din din na, ta din din na, talang din talang da, din din na, talang din din na, ta din din na, talang din talang da, din din na, talang din na, ta din din na, takkat talang da, din din na, talang din na, ta din din na. Talanga din din na, talanga din din na, din din na, talanga dum din din na, talanga dum da din din na, talanga dum talanga dum, talanga dum da. This is the higher speed. Now, a little trickier one I'm going to teach you and introduce you. I thought of introducing the early stage, so you know the degree of difficulty what you need to practice. There are a concept called Tisiranadai, by the same time space 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each finger you are telling 4. The same time space, if I say 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, then it becomes you're using the time space and trying to play a different nadai. Like, let's see example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, tak it, tak it, tak it, tak it. Takadimi, takajunu, takit, takit, takadimi, takit, takadimi, takit, takadimi, takit, takadimi, takit. Ta din din na, talang din din na, ta din na, takatalang, takadimi, talang da din na, talang din na, ta din na, takatalang, takadimi, talang da din na. Takatalang, takademi, talang, da din na. Takatalang, takademi, talang, takatalang, takademi, talang, da. Takatalang, takademi, talang, da. Takatalang, takademi, talang, takatalang, da. Takatalang, da. Takatalang, da. What I did is little complicated, but I want to register at a early stage. This is what you're going to do. Though it looks simple lessons, effectively as you grow into an advanced stage, these sort of things you will be learning and you will be playing. So I'm introducing you a concept of how the same lesson can be played in a Tishra Nadai and the higher speed of Tishra Nadai. You can try and recite, whoever is capable of doing it at this point of time, all the lessons you can do. That's the beauty of it. So you can improve it in a significant way. So now I'm going to explain you another very basic lesson, how it can be made into a flamboyant, beautiful Tirmanam. Let's see how we are going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4 we did as a very first lesson as a ladder lesson. Tha 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 tha, thi 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 thi, dum 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 dum, nam 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 nam, tha tha tha, thi thi thi, dum 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 nam. Ta ta thi thi dhum dhum nam nam ta thi dhum nam ta. Now I'm going to make this structure it into a Tirmanam. Let's see how it goes. Ta 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 thi thi dhum 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 nam 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 ta 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 thi thi dhum dhum nam 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 ta ta thi dhum dhum nam nam ta thi dhum nam ta. Ta 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 thi dhum 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 nam 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 ta 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 thi dhum 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 nam 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 ta ta thi dhum dhum nam ta thi dhum nam ta. Tati dum num tata titi dum dum num num tata ta titi dum 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 num 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 tata ta ta titi dum 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 num 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 ta. So that is the beauty of it. You may think it is a very basic lesson. It's very simple. Why do we need so much of attention? But the beauty is, as you move along, as you understand the nuances of the rhythm, you will try to have your creativity and even use these basic phrases into a complex phrase and express it in your own innovative style. So with this, I will end this class. Now we have got introduced to Tadindina family. What all we saw in Tadindina family, a quick recap. Tatadin din na. We also saw Tham Tham Dim Din na. Then we saw Thalangit Takadina. Then we defined the structure of 4-liner, 2-liner and a Tirmanam, which is also called as a Mora. We did that. We also saw Thalangita Takadana can be played Kitta Dum Dum Takadina, Dum Dum Nam Nam Takadina. So many ways we can do the Thalangita Takadina and make our own phrases and play to get the familiarity within the sequence. Then I introduced you to the Kedatakadim family, the 4 members in the Kedatakadim family, how to interlude those phrases into the Kedatakadim, and we saw each lesson in a detailed way. The next one is the Thalangadim family I introduced. There were 3 members who are part of this family, and we also saw how to play interluding that in the Thalangadim in the 2nd line and the 4th line, putting these Thalangadim phrases. I also introduced after this a concept of how to express in the higher speed. That is important. You cannot play all the time in a very slow speed because people sing in different forms. So I ensure that you also play in a higher speed. I also introduced the Tishram concept of Tishram. In the place of 4 beats, we are trying to do a 3 cycle. like change the nadai of one form into another form. And I also recited an example and demonstrated a particular lesson how you have to tell, which had a lower column tishram and male column tishram. So you practice all these. The last one, if it's too difficult, you can leave it for now, but understand the concept. I'll see you in the next class. So let's end this class with the Tirukural as usual. வீணாள் படாமை நன்றாற்றின் அஃதுருவன் வாழ்நாள் வழி அடைக்கும் கல் ஒருவன் அறத்தை ஒரு நாளும் விடாமல் செய்வானாகில் அச்செயலானது மறுபடியும் பிறவி வராமல் தடுக்கும் கல்லாக அமையும். If a person can do good deeds in his entire lifetime, he will not have rebirth. That's what Thiruvar says. It will act like a stone which is stopping some water coming into your house. It acts like a pivot. So ensure to do good things in your life so that we are not reborn and have this life full of suffering and all. That's what Thiruvar says. With this very good note, I'm ending this class. See you next class with Takadaradim family of sequences in Tadindina series. Namaste.